When researching for one of our camp trips near Niangua River in Missouri, we discovered quite a lot of information online about Moon Valley Road near Windyville, Missouri. This video is about 3 strange stories that we found online. One being a murder that happened on Moon Valley Road. Another story is about Windyville's general store is allegedly haunted. And in the area is the School of Metaphysics. Moon Valley Road is a gravel road. The entire road is gravel. This is a very rural area in Missouri. On August 25th, 2021, Dallas County Sheriff's Office received a missing persons report on Cassidy Rainwater. She was murdered in a house directly to our right on the slow motion. The house is no longer there or any of the buildings. After the 2 men who murdered Cassidy were arrested, someone later came back to the area and burned all of it down. So it's a bit of a strange story. Cassidy was a 33-year-old female from Lebanon, Missouri area. Cassidy was last seen approximately 6 weeks prior to the report of her being missing. During follow-up investigations, the last person Cassidy was known to be in contact was James Rainwater, which was later determined to be James Phelps, who lived at 386 Moon Valley Road in Lebanon, Missouri, within the Dallas County. The same day, Deputy Chris Clark responded to 386 Moon Valley Road to perform a well-being check on Cassidy, but never located any sign of her. On September 1st of 2021, Sergeant Robbie Simmons responded to 386 Moon Valley and spoke to a subject identified as James Phelps. According to James, Cassidy had been staying with him until she could get back on her feet. Phelps told Sergeant Simmons she had been staying there for a couple weeks. Phelps told Sergeant Simmons she was talking about going to Colorado. Phelps stated about a month prior to this date, Cassidy had left in the middle of the night. She had met with a vehicle at the end of the driveway in the dark, and he has not seen or heard from her since. On September 16, 2021, the FBI provided Dallas County Sheriff investigators with a series of photographs. These photographs were sent to the FBI as a cyber tip, and the series of photos have been titled Cassidy. The details in the Dallas County Sheriff's warrant affidavit is quite gruesome, and it's on public records. You can easily find it online, but she was murdered by these 2 men. That same day, September 16, 2021, Sergeant Robbie Simmons responded to the Moon Valley Road. Once on scene, Sergeant Simmons determined that 386 Moon Valley Road was the same scene from the photographs provided by the FBI. At that time, James Phelps was arrested. Over the next week, investigators processed the entire crime scene. During the processing of the crime scene, physical evidence was located on the residence, including Cassidy's DNA. The digital evidence was analyzed, and messages between James Phelps and Timothy Norton were uncovered planning the murder of Cassidy on July 24th of 2021. Later, Timothy Norton was also arrested. Thank goodness the monsters are behind bars. At the end of Moon Valley Road is the ghost town of Windyville, Missouri. There's said to be 51 people who still live here. Many say that there are eerie things that go on in Windyville. In the 1800s, there were multiple deaths of children, and many claim you can still hear their laughter. Rumors are that the cemetery is washed over by a horseback rider. Windyville was named for the residents' long-winded tales. One man who lived in the town wrote ghost stories, and he claims that none of them are true, and that's how the place became known for being haunted. People have stayed in the general store when it was a bed and breakfast, and people claim it is haunted. The cannery, which is the red building, is also said to be haunted. There have been people who have done ghost tours here. I guess that's the cannery.
Yeah, I think that the red building's the cannery.
I don't know what that house is there. I'm sure they get tired of it. But it was a neat sign on the door. Looks like at one time they had a, where they had even church or something down here. I don't know where a campground is from
Well, it's okay. We're here. Okay, goes zzz, 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 zzz.
This day was Friday the 13th, and it was probably just all of the research that we had done in the area and all of the ghost stories that may have added to the way we felt this day, but the area did feel a little weird.
Ghost stories that go way, 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 way back that have nothing to do with anything of this. You have a couple cannibals, murderers, and you have the School of Metaphysics.
All on Moon Valley Road.
Within 2 miles of each other. And nothing has to do with each other. It makes you wonder if there isn't something drawing weirdness here.
Right, like is it on a weird?
And then you got this YouTube golfer from Texas who just randomly buys some property on Moon Valley Road before the murders. So it wasn't even like it was because it was famous.
Right. So he did.
So no, it's all kind of weird.
He was on Moon Valley Road too. That golfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We floated the Niangua River the next day on Saturday, and it was a beautiful day, and it was very peaceful. Originally, we were going to put in at Moon Valley access coming up here, you'll see it, and float to our campground. But our outfitter said this area of the river was too low to float, so instead we floated from our campground and then had the outfitters pick us up. Due to the thought that we were floating out of Moon Valley, that's why we discovered all of these stories. It wasn't like we were looking for it. We were just looking for anybody who had floated the Niangua River and different access points. When we get down to Niangua River at the Moon Valley access point, as we were leaving, we saw a sign on the tree that was for a suicide hotline. And in all of our camping trips and float trips and hike trips, we have never seen anything like that. And Trevor said he saw suicide helplines in a convenience store near the area as well. So we just feel like there must be a lot of suicides in this area. It's just a very strange area. the ghost stories of Windyville are true or not, and if the general store is haunted or not. It was a fun drive, and the School of Metaphysics is just to the left, coming up in this valley, the Moon Valley. The School of Metaphysics in Windyville probably hasn't helped the town's reputation. Barbara Condren, who's of the School of Metaphysics, told USA Today that they picked Windyville as the 9th most haunted place. On their website, they say their campus centers around a large pyramid, a scale version of the Great Pyramid of Giza, where it collects and disseminates energies. I don't know much about this school either, but again, the whole area, just so many things on an old gravel road in the middle of rural Missouri. There's the suicide hotline that gave me a very sad and depressed feeling. Windyville, because it looks abandoned, although there are some people who live there, it did kind of give a vibe of, ghost stories. And the death of Cassidy right here is just a disgusting and sad story. It's too gruesome for me to tell the details because I just can't do it. The general area is beautiful and very peaceful. I think this road, with all of the information that we gathered, must have added to the September Friday the 13th feeling.